Hi folks, welcome to Greg's Workshop. I'm Greg and today we're pouring concrete. Last night on my way home from work I stopped by the local big box store, picked up a pallet of 60-pound concrete bags plus an extra 4. That's a total of 60 60-pound bags, which equates to 27 cubic feet or 1 cubic yard altogether. We're going to use this to pour the footings and stem walls for the shed. The first step is to get it unloaded, moved over to the building site. I've moved 26 bags of concrete back to the building site. That's just under half. That should be enough to get us started with pouring the 2 footings. Let's go back and I'll show you what we're going to do. You can see I covered the forms in plastic. That's partly to keep the wood dry, keep water out of the trenches, as well as to keep the dirt in the center here dry. We're going to pull the plastic. We're going to come in with a trailerable cement mixer that'll park right where I'm standing. It should hold 14 bags is what they tell me, so that'll be enough to do 1 footing, then the other footing. After that, we're going to wait a little bit, wait for that concrete to set up just a little bit, then we're going to pour 1 stem wall, then the other stem wall. Should work out okay. We'll see how it goes. I built this a few days ago while I was filming a review video for the Craig ACS track saw. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, it's a great saw, you should buy one. I built this funnel, it's a little over 2 feet wide, to make it easier to get the concrete in the forms without spillage and without slopping some on the top and making it hard to get everything smooth. Just like everything else, I haven't actually done this before, so best laid plans. We'll see how it goes. All right, I've got the mixer set up. It's not where I wanted it, but that'll have to be okay. I've got my conduit set up right here. We're going to have electrical service. The funnel is over there. We'll just have to move it. So unfortunately, we're going to either have to bucket or shovel the concrete from the mixer into the forms. Let's get started. We had a hard time getting the mix right. We started out with 6 pints per bag, which is what the instructions say. We settled on 7. That seemed to make it wet enough, but it was still, some of the batches were too dry. I rented this gas-powered towable concrete mixer, and I wouldn't do it again. I'd use the small electric one. In this part, we're pouring the stem wall above the footing, let the footing set a little bit, put in the J-shaped rebar for reinforcement, pour up to about 3 inches from the top, lay in rebar, put in the hold downs, and finish off from there. You'll see that layer, that 3-inch, a little bit later in the video. We didn't do such a good job. And we are done. Total was 66 bags. That's a little bit over a yard. Accounts for some of the unevenness at the bottom of the footings. I got my 1.25 inch conduit, way bigger than I need, but that'll be easier to pull. Everything stayed put. Everything's troweled off at the top. I've got 4 hold down bolts per side. They're all hooked into the rebar that's 3 or 4 inches down from the top of the form. We're going to let this sit for about 5 days, maybe 6, before we pull the forms. Emailed Quickcrete and Sackcrete, both. They both said wait 5 days. So that's what we'll do, just because of the temperature. It's in the 40s right now. All right. Be back in 5 days. All right, it's been 4 days. Sackcrete said 1. Quickcrete said 5. Go with 4. It's a nice day. Get her done. Time to pull the forms. I'm a little bit nervous. I've never done this before. We sprayed the wood with WD-40 because it's supposed to be a good form release agent. The concrete mix was hard to get right. It seemed to be either too dry or too wet. I couldn't find a happy medium. This may turn out poorly. we'll see. Isn't time-lapse amazing? You know what else is amazing? Cordless tools. I'm really glad I invested in a quality set of tools from Milwaukee. I have my impact driver, I have my oscillating tool, I have my assembly tool to get into all those tight spaces around the forms to take out screws. Alright, got the first form pulled. You can see it's not great, but it's not horrible either. I think it'll hold up a shed. Gotta get that piece that's kind of stuck. A little bit of voids there, that top layer. That's unfortunate. Well, I think it'll be fine. Alright, buddy, I gotta make lots of loud noise, okay? Okay, we're all done. Backside was much easier to get off because the trench was wide. Unfortunately, the concrete isn't nearly as compacted in there. But you see 100-year-old houses that look kind of like that. So good enough for a shed, I suppose. That piece is going to be hard to get out. You can't see it down there, but that's where the conduit comes through. So I need to dig that out so I can slide it off and get everything cleaned up, but running out of daylight. Folks, if you enjoyed that video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell to get notified of new videos every Saturday morning, and I'll see you next week for floor framing on Greg's Workshop.